This happened 2 years ago when I was 27 and had just moved to Pittsburgh for work. I landed a decent job managing digital campaigns, and after years of crappy apartments, I finally got the chance to live alone in a nice one-bedroom on the edge of Shadyside. It was an older building, probably built in the 1920s. Creaky wood floors, radiators, heavy doors, but it had character, and I liked that. The apartment was on the 3rd floor. There were only 8 units total, and the building was oddly quiet. My neighbors, from what I could tell, were mostly older people, retired couples or solo tenants who nodded politely but rarely talked. The landlord, Mr. Ziska, lived on the 1st floor and was friendly, if a little off. He had this strange habit of staring too long when you spoke to him, like he was watching your lips instead of listening. But overall, things were good. I was living alone for the first time, and it felt like a win. That first week, though, I noticed something weird. Every time I came home, literally every time, I'd find the shower curtain pulled shut. It wasn't just once or twice either. I'm not the kind of person to leave it closed. I always left it drawn open after a shower so it could dry. But somehow, every evening when I got home, it would be shut tight. At first I thought maybe I was imagining things, or maybe I did close it and just forgot. But after the 3rd or 4th time, I got suspicious. I told myself maybe it was the air pressure or draft or something harmless. But then I started hearing the toilet flush by itself. Part 2, Uninvited. It started around week 3. I'd be sitting in the living room, TV off, no sound except the faint creak of the building. Then out of nowhere, the toilet would flush. Just once. Not a gurgle, not pipes, an actual flush. I remember the first time it happened, I just sat there frozen. It wasn't fear at first, it was confusion. I walked to the bathroom and stared at the door for a good 30 seconds before opening it. No one was in there. Nothing was wet or moved or strange, except for that goddamn curtain, pulled shut again. At this point, I started to worry someone might have a key to my place. Maybe the landlord, maybe a former tenant. I checked all the locks. I even taped a strand of hair over the door crack when I left, just to see if it would be disturbed. But nothing. The hair was always there. The door never opened. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone in that apartment. That's when the dream started. I'd wake up in a cold sweat, heart pounding, with this image burned into my mind. A woman standing behind the shower curtain, pale feet peeking out, dark wet hair hanging below the edge. Always silent, always still. It became so vivid I started sleeping with the bathroom light on, and I stopped using the shower curtain altogether. I removed it and threw it under the sink. I thought maybe that would help, but that was a mistake, because it got worse. Part 3, The Visitor. One night I came home late after grabbing drinks with coworkers. I was tipsy but not wasted. I remember that clearly. I walked into the apartment, kicked off my shoes, tossed my keys in the dish by the door, and stopped. There were wet footprints leading from the bathroom to the hallway. Bare feet, small, dripping. I froze. My first thought was maybe a leak or some condensation, but the prints were too clear. Individual toes, the arch of a foot. They started right outside the bathroom and ended at the edge of the hallway. And then, nothing. Like whoever made them just vanished. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the couch with the TV on and a kitchen knife in my lap like an idiot. The next day, I called the landlord and demanded he change the locks. I didn't tell him everything, just said I thought someone might have broken in. He changed the front lock but made some comment I didn't like. He said, "You sure you haven't been dreaming with your eyes open?" People get lonely living alone. That stuck with me. Part 4, A Face in the Dark. A week later, I was in bed scrolling through my phone. I had this habit of locking all the doors and double-checking everything before going to sleep. I got up one last time around 1:30 a.m. to grab water from the kitchen. The apartment was dark except for the hallway nightlight I kept plugged in. As I passed the bathroom, something made me stop. I swear to God, for half a second, I saw someone standing in there, just inside the frame. The shape of a person, female, barely lit from the nightlight glow. I flipped the bathroom light on so fast I nearly tore the switch off the wall. Empty, but the mirror was fogged, and the tiles were wet. And remember, I hadn't used the shower in 2 days. That night, I slept at a hotel.